In modern U.S. politics, this day is one for the books. After weeks of intense pressure from multiple quarters, U.S. President Joe Biden has called it quits on the 2024 race for the White House. While the age factor has played a major role, the last few weeks have seen renewed dissent against the president. Let's now trace events that led Biden to pull out. It all began at the first presidential debate on July 27th. Well, the debate was a turning point of sorts. Biden's performance left at the debate that left his supporters and fellow Democrats concerned. Well, his fumbles acted as the trigger that left him cornered in the blue camp. Well, apart from that, after debate especially, polls showed that 60% of voters showed no confidence in Biden's ability to govern the United States of America. And in an attempt to muffle dissent, the president returned to the campaign trail the very next day. He continued his attempt to reassure the party. In an interview, he said that only the Lord Almighty could convince him to drop out, but the pressure on him to step aside mounted by the day. Well, Nancy Pelosi stopped short of spelling out Biden to get out of the presidential race, and she said it's up to the president to decide if he stays or not. The top fundraiser, George Clooney, on the other hand, said that we are not going to win with this president. Soon after, reports started to emerge that former U.S. President Barack Obama privately voiced concerns about Biden's candidacy. In response to the growing calls, Biden held a highly anticipated solo news conference. He said that he would quit the race if data showed that he cannot win. But the highlight was Biden's fresh gaffes. In his speech, he called Kamala Harris VP Trump, Vice President Trump. That's not all. Within the course of that very day, Biden had yet another slip. He introduced the Ukrainian president as President Putin.
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president. So let's start there. Now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. He's going to beat President Putin.
Well, a couple of days later, the presidential race witnessed one of its most significant events yet. On July 13th, Biden's rival Donald Trump was shot at a campaign rally in Pennsylvania in a near assassination attempt at his rally, and Biden had denounced the attack. In an interview in Las Vegas, Biden said only a medical condition could perhaps convince him to drop out of the race. On the very next day, he tested positive for COVID-19 and cancelled a campaign speech scheduled during the visit. Well, according to reports, Biden's decision was also influenced heavily by internal polling data. Well, as he tried to recover, the president met with his key aides. We are talking about Steve Ricchetti and Mike Donnellan on Saturday. The top aides showed Biden internal polling data. It revealed that he was not just trailing in all 6 important swing states that could perhaps decide the fate of the election, but he was also collapsing in places like Virginia and Minnesota, where Democrats had not planned on spending massive resources. However, the two trusted aides did not make any recommendations about what he should be doing moving forward. The bleak polling in battleground states was what cemented Biden's decision to withdraw. According to sources, Biden had already made up his mind, and after this discussion, he slept on it one last time and made this announcement on Sunday afternoon that he is not contesting the race for the White House.